Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 280, Lamar, Succubus.
Well, Joe, more people are dating online. We combine that new trend of dating online with a very scary, seductive monster.
Sure.
Yeah, well, we're going to discuss it. We're going to discuss it because the succubus is known in lore as a woman that's a monster that's very seductive. Yeah,
Well, Lamar, let's get right into it with our first category. What did we think of the story?
you sound so excited. Well, okay. Chris, he's going through a fledgling marriage. He just had a baby. And the behest of his very obnoxious friend is like, hey, bro, you should get on, line and start doing, online dating. And he then comes across a very mysterious woman, very seductive, but strange. And it turns out this woman is a monster.
Well, as a premise, it could have been interesting. You know
Yes.
what the big problem with this movie? Like, it took like a good hour before it really kicked in. Like, and then once
Yes.
it kicked in, like, oh, some stuff started happening. There was some, special effects that we'll talk about later. And, like, it was kind of cool. The story is something that Full Moon Features could have done, and they would have done it much better.
Agreed. I didn't even think of that, but pacing is definitely an issue. And I
Yeah,
think because this was just him sitting in a room looking at a computer for most of the movie.
yeah.
And it's just kind of like, is something going to happen? Like, it's a build up, but I think they should have had like little pockets of like, okay, this happens. Maybe she, does something crazy or something, but it
Yeah.
takes so
Yeah,
long.
it literally. I looked at the time. It took an hour before it really kicked in, and that was a problem. I mean, the
Yeah.
most horrific thing about the movie was the guy's life. Like, he had like a kid and shit. Like, that was horrible to me. But other than that, it wasn't even scary. So, what do you give it for story, Labar?
Half a point.
All right, I'll give it a half point.
Yeah.
Had some potential.
Yeah.
Our next category, Labar, is what do we think of the characters?
Okay. We have Chris,
Yeah.
our sympathetic hero. Then we have his wife, Sharon. And now they're separated, but did she seem kind of an a-hole to him?
She just made it sound like she didn't like him because he was like inept at work,
Yeah,
and she
it's
called
like,
him a limp dick too.
bro, and she not only that, let's get past that. Did she call him or did he call her when she's at a party?
She called him because the baby camera was off. She couldn't monitor the baby.
But it's like, why are you doing that inside? It's a bachelorette party, and I think her sister comes behind her. It's like, yeah, party, blah, blah. It's almost kind of like a passive aggressive thing that she does. And so, like, I get that she's probably hurt by the marriage, but she's not really that good of a person.
No, this
Yeah.
this movie is the reason why I don't want to get married and have children, Lamar. These
Well,
situations like this, I don't want to get caught by the succubus.
well, that's not why he got caught by the succubus.
But the other
Yeah.
characters, like his friend, the obnoxious guy, like it was good to have a character like that, like the kind of comic relief
Yeah.
guy. Like he was all right. And then Ron Perlman's in the movie.
Ron Perlman is in the movie for like, 10 minutes.
So his character, he knows about the succubus
Yes.
and he's trying to stop the succubus.
Yeah.
Do we know exactly why he knows about or how he knows about it?
No.
He's just kind of there and he's trying to stop it.
Yes.
It's never really explained.
Well, Ron Perlman got a check.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Nah, give it a half point for characters. No?
The friend was okay. I understand why he's there. The rest of the characters, even Ron Perlman, because I do like Hellboy, I'm giving it a 0.
Okay. Well, our next category, Lamar, is special effects.
Now, okay, I will say this. The special effects were good.
Yes.
They were very good, after an hour. We saw some unfortunate gore, some penis gore and shit
Yeah,
like that.
there was penis gore.
The monster looked cool.
The monster did look good. They did a very good job with that. They
Yeah.
not only did the makeup effects look good, but the way they
Mm-hmm.
lit the whole get up of it, that was all good. I was impressed with that. So, what do you give it for special effects?
I'll give it a 1. I
Yep,
liked it.
1 point for effects. Yeah. Well, Lamar, next category is what do we think of the monster, the succubus?
I don't think there was enough of the monster. I don't, not even of the monster like dressed up,
Yeah,
not enough of her. Like, you know, like,
of the character doing.
yeah,
I've been on the dating apps, Lamar. I think I've met the succubus on more than one occasions, and it's much better than
really.
this movie.
Well,
So,
well, I'm not gonna, judge your judgment of that.
no, I'm just
So,
saying,
yeah,
like, she could have caused more havoc throughout the movie. You know what I mean?
exactly. She does a couple of things, but it's kind of like, eh.
The monster was underutilized in this movie.
I almost feel like the way they got terrorized wasn't because of the monster. It's just because Chris is kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's right. He was like jerking off and stuff, and then he kept on getting caught because of the succubus, and then other people would catch him.
Yeah, it's like he just kept on doing dumb stuff.
Yeah.
So
Once again, it's a cautionary tale, Lamar. Don't jerk off.
they
Don't
can try. They can try to tell people that.
don't do it while your Instagram live is on, I guess is what the message
Okay,
of this story
but
was.
here's the thing, though. It wasn't an Instagram live. Here's my problem, though. We're gonna spoil the movie. He gets caught, jerking off on a nanny cam. That's only supposed to go to your wife.
Yeah.
But then, like, the video went to like 5 different people.
Like his
His
mom.
mom is.
Yeah.
It's like once again, stupid stuff. It's like, why is this? Why does everybody have access to this?
Oh, the succubus, I guess. I don't know. I'd give it a half point for monster.
Agreed, yeah, but
It is what it is. Well, Lamar, our last category, as usual, with the B movies is how do we rate the TNA, Lamar?
well, Joe, this category, when you brought it up, I was like, "What TNA is that? Is that your
Well,
consensus,
this
Joe?"
movie has been marketed as an erotic horror movie, so I thought it would be apropos to have TNA as a category. However, well, there was
No,
some T, it was in the shadows, though.
yes, it was.
There was some A, but it was
Yeah,
man A, mostly.
yeah.
And then there was D. What do you give it for TNA, Lamar?
I mean, if we're gonna judge it, like this is 0.
Yep, it's 0 for me, too.
Yeah, that's why I was confused. I was like, "Wait a minute, did I miss something?" Because I didn't see anything. So yeah,
Well, Lamar, we've tallied the score, and this movie gets a 2.25 out of 5. Just meh.
like you said, Full Moon. I think they would have.
Yeah, this was
Yeah,
something like in Full Moon's hands. It would have been like an hour. They would have gotten right to the point. We probably would have given it 1 point for TNA.
yeah. I think also they wouldn't have taken it too serious. That's another
Yeah.
problem with this movie. It was like that slows down the pacing. It's like, look, man, seductive woman that turns into a monster. Get to it.
Yep. Well, Lamar, I guess, does that wrap it up then?
It does.
Peace.
Deuces.
I'm going to get back on my dating apps and see if I avoid the succubus once again.
I think you avoid enough succubus. I think your problem is crazy one, Joe. That's your problem. Yeah.
Sure.